expected and what we've been working so hard on for a few weeks and months. So yeah, really pleasing to get 3 through the door within the first few days, and hopefully we'll see a few more in the not too distant future. Yeah.
The importance of getting them done early. Talk to us about that. Why have we acted so early like this?
Because the opportunity's there to do so. So as soon as the window opens, we know that we have to strengthen the squad for what's going to be a really hard second half of the season. So we're ready. We've highlighted the players that we wanted, and we've moved swiftly. So I think it's coming up to this week as well. We've got 3 really tough games all away from home. So to have 3 new recruits who are going to strengthen the squad gives us a better chance, obviously, in them 3 games. Doesn't mean we're going to win them, but it gives us a chance. And hopefully we can get a couple more in before the window closes, and we can move forward for the second half of the season. We're in the strongest possible position. Obviously,
in the summer, when you bring players in, you have a period where you're just training. You don't have to focus on games. But as you've said, January is a month where there's lots of games, and this week in particular, big important games. How is it as a coach trying to juggle the incomings and outgoings, potentially the preparation for matches, the integration of players into the squad? How have you taken to that?
It's hard work. Didn't leave here till probably 7 o'clock maybe last night. And it's where you need your staff around you. So I've got a brilliant staff, coaching staff, immediate staff, Nansen, Husey and Darren, who they went down today. Before I did, I was on the phone until pretty much 10 o'clock this morning, setting the sessions up. So this way you need everybody helping, because it's too much for one person to do on their own. So they know that my head's everywhere at the moment. Sam and the analysts are putting my unit meeting together for me today, which I would normally do. So yeah, it's busy. It's a busy month. I think the difference in the January window is that you're playing, and so you're having to put that to bed now and switch the phone off for an hour while you watch Bolton, because that's important, obviously, that we get that right. But I think what's also important is that we bring players in as well who are ready to play. So in the summer you've got 6 weeks to get everybody fit, but the people who we've brought in have been playing or are fit. So yeah, hopefully they can hit the ground running.
Let's talk about the week to come, and it starts with Bolton. As you said, we had a great result against them earlier this season. We had a good result up against them away last season. But they are chasing the same thing we are. They're in pretty decent form as well. How do you see it?
It's going to be a really hard game. I remember last year was really hard, deciding on set play away from home. The game here was open, probably too open for our liking. They had some big chances. I remember Michael making a big, massive save at a huge, important time, and then we killed the game off. So yeah, we're expecting a hard game. In my opinion, they're one of the better sides in the division. Hard to figure out. They pass the ball really well, and yeah, it's going to be a tough afternoon. So we're expecting to go there and be up against it. There'll be spells in the game where we have to defend well, and hopefully there'll be times in the game where we can impose what we want to do on them.
Stephen Schumacher there speaking to me earlier this week. Apologies if you've been trying to watch on YouTube and haven't seen us until just then. A few technical problems, but we're back and we're ready, and you can enjoy the rest of the show. If you haven't seen team news, which is what we spoke about before, and you were desperately waiting for that, you can find it on Twitter, but I'll tell you now, 2 changes for Argyle. Callum Wright comes in for his debut, replacing Morgan Whitaker, and Sam Cosgrove is in for Niall Ennis, who's picked up a little knock last weekend, not involved. The other 3 new boys, Saxon, Earley, Ben Waine, and Jay Matete, all on the bench for Argyle today. Well, he was talking about it there, Katie, Stephen Schumacher, about how his phone's been red hot and he's had to kind of siphon off hours just to put some preparation into playing Bolton. He has been an incredibly busy boy. It's kind of nothing like I've seen from any club, really, to do this much business so early.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing. They've obviously done lots of scouting work and, going and watching games and seeing what players they want. And I think Callum Wright said it in an interview that, he'd been approached in the summer. So these are players that they've obviously kind of been looking at, not just over the last couple of weeks, but over the last few months. So, and actually it's great to get the business done early because they're sorted, they're integrating, and hopefully they bring lots to the squad. Yeah,
and one of the points I made to Stephen there was about in the summer when you bring in lots of players, and it quite often happens at this level, you have that pre-season to work with them. You don't in January, but I suppose getting it done in the first week before the second game of the year, and no one could have played on that first day anyway, means that you've got them for as long a period as possible.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, there's 3 permanent signings, which is great, and if they can have half a season of finding their feet or whatever they need to do, and then the best case scenario, we get promoted, we go into the Championship with a squad that's really well integrated, and these players are going to have to come in and do the job that they've been brought in to do. Every game's going to be a battle from now to the end of the season, whoever they're playing, whether that's the top teams, whether that's teams around the bottom of the league who are fighting to stay in the league. So, these players have got to come in, hit the ground running, and, getting them in early gives them the best chance of doing that.
And they'll be desperate to, won't they? As a player, you must be absolutely hell-bent on trying to make an impression or at least grab a goal or get an assist or something as soon as possible. Yeah,
you're bought in, and a lot of these players, like we've said, have come in with, these are really good young players, talented boys that they've brought into the side. So they want to come and show that straight away and get involved as early as they can. It's good that obviously all 4 of them are involved in some capacity today. Obviously Wright starts, the other 3 are on the bench. So, Wright's got a big opportunity today. He's got big boots to fill. And he'll be looking to get goals, assists, whatever, as early on as he possibly can.
You spoke about big boots to fill. On the flip side, obviously, of the excitement of bringing in these new players, there was disappointment earlier this week when Morgan Whitaker left the club. He was recalled by Swansea. How big a blow will it be, do you think? Just seeing a few of the stats there, and that sort of shows how influential he's been. Yeah,
he's been a massive player for us so far this season, and we've spoke about him time and time again when we've done, build up to games or commentary, that he has a massive impact, and the fact that he's been involved with 30% of Argyle's goals is a massive loss. And technically, he was great. He could assist, set piece delivery was good. He scored important goals, winners. Got us back into the game against Exeter. So many big important moments that. It's a shame that he's had to go back to Swansea, and we'll certainly miss him, I'm sure.
It's telling, isn't it, when you see, I don't know whether whether you follow him on Instagram or not, but he put a post out saying about how disappointed he was and how much he loved it down here, and he's going to be a fan now for the rest of his life. Going to be cheering them on to promotion, and in the comments, every single one of the Argyle squad that's on Instagram commented on that, and I think that's as big a tell as anything. Yes, you can see there the output that he produced on the pitch and how influential he's been in a playing capacity, but also he was clearly an incredibly well-liked member of that dressing room too.
Yeah, and I think that's a big loss as well, isn't it? When you're here for 6 months, whatever it was that he was here, and you get to be close friends with the people that you're spending all day, every day with, and definitely a massive loss for the changing room, for the playing squad, and obviously a massive loss for the fans as well.
Having said that, we've got Sam Cosgrove who's got 10 goals this season. We've got Ryan Hardy and Niall Ennis who've got 10 goals this season. We've brought in Callum Wright, who's last season at this level, he got 10 goals and 7 assists. It isn't just a Morgan Whitaker side, this, is it? It's a disappointment, but there are so many other areas where Argyle can be profitable.
100%, and it gives other players a chance to shine, doesn't it? When we spoke about the game on New Year's Day, it was a Morgan Whitaker assist. It was Morgan Whitaker goal. It was a Morgan Whitaker assist. Yeah, wasn't he? So he's been important, but like I said, it gives chance for those other players, maybe in and around the side, to come in, create opportunities for themselves. But there's other boys there that have got big numbers and are scoring goals. So it's not like we've taken away our sole goal scorer. There are plenty of other options there. Obviously, Ennis isn't involved today, but Cosgrove starts. You've got Hardy from the bench, who's got plenty of goals in him. So, plenty of options still for Shuey. And obviously, he's brought in Wayne as well, who's another striker who, again, hopefully will hit the ground running and bang in some goals for us too. Yeah,
absolutely. Finn Azaz on the way back too. So the future's bright. Don't be sad it's ended. Be happy that it happened. That's what they're saying, isn't it? Anyway, we'll hear from a couple of the new lads in a moment. Saxon, Earley and Callum Wright to come. Plenty more to fill in, so don't go anywhere.
ball in. A good goal. Caution.
Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Argyle TV. The Greens away at Bolton this afternoon. You can watch the game for just £10 if you are based overseas on Argyle TV, or if you're a UK-based supporter, then you can listen to the game in full for £2.50. All the streaming details are available on our website, pafc.co.uk. Now, we've been talking a lot about the new incomings, 4 in total, 1 starting today. Seems almost a lifetime ago that Saxon Earley became our second signing of the month on Monday. He arrived for an undisclosed fee from Norwich and is looking forward to getting stuck in.
Well, I'm really excited to play for Argyle, and I'm buzzing, and I can't wait to start and get out there and meet the fans.
Well, for the fans, tell us a little bit about you, Saxon. Tell us about your story, how you got to where you are now.
So I came through Norwich Youth. I went on loan to Stevenage for this season. Done really well. Really enjoyed my time there, and then obviously come up to here.
Talk to me about Stevenage then. First move away from Norwich, wasn't it? So how did that develop you as a player, do you think?
Yeah, I think I learned a lot of Stevenage. Obviously, first professional men's, and the boys there were great, and we've done really well. We've done much better than anyone expected, I think. So I learnt a lot. Obviously, a few ups and downs, but luckily there's more ups than downs. So hopefully, can bring that here.
Yeah, looking at the outside at it, obviously having a terrific season. A terrific start to the season. You're coming into a club here in Argyle, which has also had a pretty terrific start. So, can you see sort of similarities potentially on that upward trajectory, hopefully?
Yeah, well, I really hope so. And obviously, I'll come here and do my best to keep it going in that direction, and hopefully for the rest of the season and onwards. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Doing a bit of reading about you, you mentioned it coming through the Norwich Academy. You were there from a very young age. This is a permanent move away. Why the move? Why now? Why did you think this was the best time?
Well, obviously, I went out on the start of the season to get some experience, and I think when a club like Argyle comes in for you, they're doing so well, and touch wood, really looking for promotion this year. I think it's hard to turn down such a good club. So for me, it wasn't really much doubt at all. So I was delighted when they showed interest, and obviously here I am, and really looking forward to it.
And in terms of Argyle as well, style of play, I don't know how much you've probably seen quite a lot of us since you knew the move was coming in, and the club as a whole. What was it about Argyle in particular that was a real attraction?
Well, the few things really, the style of play, the way we play, and obviously the position in the league, and also the fan base, and obviously seeing recently the sellouts at home and away, and it doesn't matter where it is, you're always really well followed and supported. So that was a big draw as well. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Saxon Earley there, and we'll hear from Callum Wright in just a moment. But Katie, there seems to be a bit of a profile with these players that are being brought in. Three out of the 4 permanent, all of them 21, 22 years of age. Young, exciting players. Yeah,
players that have come through teams based in the Championship, and like you said, young, looking to build obviously a squad here. And I think for me it's something as a fan that we probably haven't seen in recent years. It's been very much a case of a lot of players we've brought in have been loan signings, and then they always say, don't fall in love with loan signings, they go again. And
we've seen that
yeah,
already.
we've seen it. It's happened recently. But it's great that we're going to have a young squad that can build together, and players, like you said, they're exciting and coming from a higher level. So the aim for us is obviously promotion this season, and if we can do that, then great that they will have had 6 months of getting used to being part of this exciting squad.
Yeah, and you're absolutely bang on there as well, and it shows, because it could have been tricky, this transfer window, I think, because you want to, because of the start, you think, well, this is the season to go and do it. We know about the club's values of being sustainable and not reaching beyond their means, and making sure that they are sustainable basically, and have spend what they have in terms of the playing budget. But there has clearly been a little bit of a kind of switch to say, well, this is the year. The board have backed the football staff and the data and everything like that. They've gone out and got these players, substantial fees for some of them.
Yeah.
Beating championship clubs to signing a few of them as well.
Yeah.
There's that eye to the championship is there, even though it's not anywhere close to being a done deal yet.
Yeah, and I guess it shows the belief that the board, the chairman, the owner have in what Shuey's doing, in what the squad are doing, all of the players that are involved. So is there going to be a better opportunity than we have this season to make that step again into the championship? Who knows? We're in a great position so far this season. So now is a time to really try and build. And like you said, with the ages of all the players, it's players that we're definitely looking for the future, which is good to see.
And just kind of finally on Saxon as well, he's been playing in an incredibly successful Stevenage side the first half of the season. So I kind of look at that and think, well, that's a great factor. He's already playing with incredible confidence.
Yeah, and confidence is a massive thing, isn't it? And when you're playing in a side that are doing really well, hopefully he brings that confidence, he brings that belief into performances here, and can just hit the ground running and get started nice and early. It's another option down that left side for Shuey, which is good for us to have. So a positive signing.
Well, let's hear from another, shall we? Callum Wright signed just a day after Morgan Whitaker went back to Swansea, and was a player that the club have had their eye on for quite a while.
Buzzing to be here. It was interesting in the summer, and obviously to get it over the line now, but get to Argyle and buzzing.
Yeah, talk to us about the summer, because there was interest from us. You went to Blackpool. How did you find that situation?
Obviously it came about early in the summer. Obviously the gaffer got in touch, and I came down here and seen the place. I loved it. And it was just too early in the summer. I needed to have a go at Leicester. I had a good season last year at Cheltenham, and I needed to have a go at Leicester, and it came too early in the window for me to come. I loved every bit of it. I wanted to come here, but it came too early, and then obviously later on in the window it weren't really an option just because of signings and stuff like that. But I had a good pre-season at Leicester, and then later on in the window obviously Blackpool came about, and it was an opportunity to go to the Championship. I didn't have much else, because it was so late in the window. Deadline day came about on the last day. I didn't have much else to do, and obviously I had to go with it, and now that Plymouth Argyle's come back about now, I'm buzzing to get it done.
Yeah, and obviously when we came back in again this time around, I'm guessing the fact that you'd been down here, you'd already had sort of conversations, you knew what the club was about. Yeah,
it was a no-brainer. As soon as I come back about, like obviously when the window opened, and like I knew it could happen, and it potentially happened. And I said to my agents and my family, like, I need to get it done. I need to go there. Want to become one of them. Yeah.
You're watching Argyle TV. We are just under half an hour away from kick-off up at the University of Bolton Stadium between Bolton and Argyle. Still a lot to fit in between now and then, so don't go anywhere. Right, let's turn our attention to the hosts, to Bolton, and we'll hear from their manager in just a sec. Ian Evatt is mounting another push for promotion with the Trotters, chasing his second in 4 years, and is relishing the opportunity of taking on Argyle just a few days after dismantling Barnsley.
The league leaders are here. There's going to be another big crowd, and you go into it in great shape.
Yeah, as difficult as it gets, because as it stands, Plymouth are the best team in this league, and by some margin at the moment. We're confident off the back of a good performance on Monday, but we know we have to replicate those levels to have any chance of winning against Plymouth this Saturday. Stephen's done an incredible job. Really, really fantastic start to the season, and they're flying really high, full of confidence. We have to attack it like we would any game, believe in ourselves, believe in the process, believe that we can win. And yeah, I thought we showed down there in the season that, you know, we probably edged it on the day, but we lost the moments. We need to make sure we win those moments on Saturday.
Yeah, because again, you've played some of the leading sides in recent weeks and shaped it very well, and there's no change in that in the next few games, is it?
Yeah, look, it's a challenge to have so many back-to-back games against the top sides, but what I will say is it only counts for 3 points in each individual game. Obviously, our direct competitors, it's a bit more of a swing, but you know, Forest Green at the end of this month counts for the same as Plymouth does this Saturday. We have to attack every game. If we want to improve our season, then we have little margin for error. And as I said, we've finished strongly in every season I've been here so far, and we're looking to do the same again.
Yeah, tough game upcoming for Argyle. Let's refresh ourselves on today's team news and start with Argyle. A debut for Callum Wright, one of the January signings brought in by Stephen Schumacher this month. He's in for Morgan Whitaker, and the other change sees Sam Cosgrove take the spot of Niall Ennis, who doesn't feature today. Looking at the bench, Casey, it's probably the first time I can remember this season where there isn't one of the under-18s on the bench as well. It's been great seeing them, but it, I suppose, shows the strength now, definitely, with these new four new signings. Yeah,
and that's what people were calling for, wasn't it? You know, we've got ourselves into this decent position, and it was all about reinforcements as we moved forward towards the end of the season. So great for the young lads, and when they've needed to come in and do a job, they've been great. So, but like I said, nice to see a few more seasoned pros on the bench, and it just gives you more options, doesn't it? And we've seen Shuey do it so many times this season, be able to change things and bring players off the bench and make a difference. So, there's definitely players there who can certainly call on to do that.
And I suppose if we take Jay Matete, for example, signed yesterday on loan from Sunderland, he is a player who is going to challenge those two midfield positions. We've kind of seen the rotation of Houghton and Butcher quite a few times alongside Randall. Matete he offers something different to that, bit of grit, steel, the tackler, which maybe we've actually been lacking. Yeah,
and I think Randall's very much a player who you expect to get on the ball and make things happen. Houghton's probably in there more so as slightly more of a defensive player, but someone who's got a little bit more of an experienced head can kind of control the game a little bit. But I think at times this season we have lacked that little bit of bite and aggression in there, and sometimes we're a little bit open, a little bit too easy to play through the middle. So Matete definitely gives us that different option. And again, it's great for Schumacher to have those types of players that he can call upon to do the hard graft when it's needed.
And I've seen a lot of people on social media already saying about Jay Matete that the battle that he had with Panuccio Kamara at the end of last season at Sunderland Argyle game. I don't know whether you remember it. And if we're going to get that sort of performance, then that would be great.
Yeah, perfect. Kamara was definitely another one who was kind of a favourite of the fans here, wasn't he, with his all-action displays. So, if we can get the same sort of performances from Matete, then certainly someone to enjoy having here for the rest of the season.
If Sunderland fans are anything to go by as well, and Fleetwood actually, he is a diamond for Argyle for the rest of the season, as are all of the new signings actually, if you look at the old club supporters on social media. Let's have a look at the Bolton lineup then, again, refresh us of that, and one change made from the win over Barnsley by Ian Evatt. It sees a debut as well, actually, a bit like Callum Wright coming in for his debut for Argyle, Randell Williams in for the injured Iredale on the left-hand side. We saw the highlights just a moment ago of their win over Barnsley, Katie. Couple of gifts of goals, but the last one, Carl Dempsey's one, beautifully worked, and they have a lot of quality in that midfield area. Morley, Lee, Dempsey, very, very good players. Yeah,
lots of players who can trouble us today, and we're certainly going to have to be on top of our game if we want to get anything out of this game today. So, thinking back to the game here back in August, I think even, players like Connor Bradley caused us problems down their right-hand side, and we've spoken about it already, but how settled their back three's been recently. The lack of goals that they're conceding, their creativity going forwards, and they're on a decent little run. They're a team that are looking to push on and cement those playoff places. So, certainly going to be a tricky tie for Argyle today.
With Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich not playing, and we'll have a look at the kind of protracted fixture list in a moment, how big an opportunity is this for Argyle? I know it's still midway through the season, but a win today would see that gap go to 7 points from Sheffield Wednesday, 9 points to that last playoff spot. And I know they'll have a game in hand, but psychologically, as much as anything?
Massive, yeah. And it's an old cliche in football, isn't it? But you'd rather have points on the board than games in hand. And if we can win today, I think it shows real intent. It gives us a nice little 7-point cushion at the top of the table. No one's going to have any qualms about that whatsoever. So, and it just puts the pressure on the other teams, doesn't it, to go and win games. And obviously, we've got Ipswich coming up, which is going to be another massive game. So if we can create a little bit of a buffer and a little bit of a gap between us and them before that game, then even better.
Yeah, I was going to mention this week, obviously the game today against Bolton, side chasing promotion, quarterfinals of the Papa John's Trophy against Bristol Rovers, and when you get to this stage of the competition, Wembley's just a couple of games away, you're definitely thinking about it. And then, as you said, Ipswich next Saturday, all away from home. It feels like it could be quite a pivotal one. If you come out of that pretty much unscathed, you're in a stunning position, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. And none of the games are going to be easy. And I said at the beginning, there's not going to be a single game that's going to be easy now between now and the end of the season. So it's very much a case of let's get points on the board where we can, pick up points. It's not always going to be pretty. It's going to be scrappy at times. But I think that's something that Argyle have shown as the season's gone on, is we've probably started the season playing really nice, free-flowing football, but actually there have been times where we've scrapped and we've won games 1-0. And it's great that we've got the ability to do both things. So hopefully, difficult run of fixtures this week. But I definitely think if we, like you said, if we pick up points in the league games and you can win a quarter final, then the fans are going to be absolutely loving life.
Where do you see this one going then today?
I think it's going to be really tight. Maybe 1 or 2 goals in it. Really difficult game. It's going to be hard fought. There's going to be battles all over the pitch, and I think today it will be a case of who can win their individual battles around the pitch. Will stand the team in good stead, but a really tricky game and difficult to call.
Well, we're not long from finding out how the game will go, because kickoff is just over 15 minutes away. Reminder, if you are an overseas-based supporter, you can watch the game on Argyle TV for £10. If you're based inside the UK and you're not at the University of Bolton Stadium, but you still want to follow the game, then you can hear audio commentary of the match in full on Argyle TV as well. All the details are on our website, pafc.co.uk. Click on the Argyle TV tab at the top, and you'll find all the streaming details in there. Alternatively, on the app as well, you can find the matchday passes very easily on the homepage. Let's have a quick look at the other fixtures today. Only 4 games in League One, so this will be nice and short. There you go, the other 3. Cambridge against Bristol Rovers, Charlton at home to Lincoln, Morecambe against Cheltenham. As I said, Argyle's nearest opponents in terms of league position, Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday, both in FA Cup action this weekend. So not a whole host to keep you up to date with, but we will be doing our best with that. Obviously, Bristol Rovers, Argyle's next opponents on Tuesday night in the Papa John's Trophy. Bit of interest there. But that is pretty much us done here on Argyle TV for the pre-match show. As I said, reminder, you can watch the game if you're based overseas for £10. You can listen to it on Argyle TV if you are based in the UK. All of the details are on our website. Head over there now to buy your match passes. Katie and I will bring you full match commentary of Bolton Wanderers against Argyle, and that is coming up next.
Even if it's just to the chippy, giving second hand a big hand.